How long to retain on semen retention? A lot of guys might be new to semen retention and you don't really know how long to retain on semen retention. Before you, heal or be masculine or whatever, your perception of semen retention on how long to retain. Now, it's up to you how long you want to retain, bro. It's not up to nobody except you. I'm not here to tell you that if you don't retain if you don't retain for 1 year, you didn't do semen retention. You're not doing it right. Or if you don't retain for 10 years, you're not a man. Like, that doesn't make sense. That is really crazy. You can't tell another man how long to retain his sexual energy. Who am I to tell another man how long to retain? That man might be want to have a baby. He's been on semen retention for 3 months. He can release it if he wants to. You can release it if you want to. But make sure you're releasing it, with the purpose. Don't just be releasing it to release it. For you guys that's getting on semen retention, I'm not here to tell you how long to retain, but I'm just saying, you just retain it for a little bit, you're not going to feel much benefits. I'm just telling you. If you retain for a little bit, like 1 week, you're not going to feel that much benefits. You're just not. But I can't say this. The longer you retain, the more benefits you gain. I can't say that. It's true. Like when I first really took it serious, I got on semen retention. I had retained for 3 months straight. I felt different benefits. My body was changing. My mindset was changing. My aura was changing. My energy was changing. My willpower was increasing. My focus was increasing. My energy was increasing. My discipline was increasing. The longer I retain. I can't say that. But I'm not here to tell you how long to retain. It's up to you how long you want to retain. But for you to feel all these different benefits and feel all these different phases, go through all these different phases of semen retention when it comes down to benefits, 1 week just not going to do it. I'm just telling you right now. That's just the beginning stages of semen retention. Now, it's up to you how long you want to retain. Because a lot of guys, they'll get on semen retention for like a couple days or 1 week, and they'll say like they don't feel too much difference. Because that's what happened to me when I didn't take it serious. Like, I knew about it, a little bit about it, but I ain't taking it that serious, so I retained it for like 1 week. And I didn't feel that much of a difference. I didn't. And then I relapsed. I was like, man, this junk don't work. And then when I took it serious and I just kept my discipline, I kept retaining for a month after month after month, like I really started to feel the difference. Like the 3rd week, my energy like went up. Crazy. My energy was flowing through the roof. So, guys, I am telling you that 1 week, you're not going to feel the much difference. 2 and 3 weeks, you're going to feel more benefits. A month, yeah, you're going to feel, watch your focus going to start to, you're going to start to get more focus. You're going to start to have more discipline. But who am I to tell you how long to retain? But I am telling you that retain as long as you can. Retain as long as possible you can. Do semen retention for you. That's what I'm telling you. Do it for you. Like, for guys that's on their purpose, we already know, like, we retain it for a while. We retain it for months or maybe, up to a year or years. We might be retaining for like a couple of months. Then might slip up. Some of y'all might slip up before that. But, like I said, who am I to tell you how long to retain? I can't do that. Like I said, we're not going to be perfect on this journey. But we are becoming better with discipline. We're becoming better with being a better man. We becoming better to being, to have control, to have self-control. That's what it's all about. You getting better with self-control. And you getting on your purpose. That's what semen retention is testing. Your self-control. How much self-control do you have as a man? If you have a lot of self-control, it's going to show. You're going to put in the work. You're going to retain for a while. So it all got to do with your self-control. How long based on how long you going to retain. The less you retain, the less self-control that you have. This is the truth. I know y'all don't want to hear that. But the less, you retain, the less control that you have. Control yourself. Control your sexual urges. It is possible. You just got to find something to do. Like a lot of guys, they get on semen retention. They don't be having nothing, they just get on it. They don't have no goals. They don't have no purpose. And they don't retain for that long. They'll retain for a couple of days. They don't feel no benefits, then they'll relapse. Or a week. Don't feel much benefits, then they'll relapse. Man, you got to go longer than that. I'm just saying. It's best to go longer than that. I just said you got to go longer than that. I'm not going to tell you to go longer than that. I'm just saying it's best to do that. That's just my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion. It's best to go longer than that. If you want to feel more benefits. If you wanted to benefit you, financially, spiritually, physically, you got to go longer than that. I'm just being honest. Than a week. That's just the beginning stage. But how long to retain, it's all up to you. Like I said, for guys that's playing sports. Or whoever playing sports. Women that's playing sports. Once you're going to be retaining in high school. You're going to be retaining in college. But once you get to the pros, you made it. You sign that $1 million contract or 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, $1 million contract, millions of dollars. You sign that contract. It's up to you if you want to continue to retain. It's all up to you. Because you made it in life. You already made it. But for you guys that's not where you want to be at, it's best to retain as long as you can. As long as you can. See, it's all about self-control, man. It's all about self-control on this journey. Do you have self-control? Do you have what it takes to retain for, 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months? Do you have that much self-control? No, that's what you got to be thinking. How much self-control do you have? That comes right along with self-discipline. And consistency. Because if you have a lot of self-control, then that means you're more logical. You're less emotional. You're less caught up in your feelings. You're not thinking with this head that's between your legs. You think with this head. That's how you're navigating through life. With this head. If you have a lot of self-control. Which means you could stay at your purpose for a long time. That means that you can stay on task for a long time. That means you have a lot of discipline when it comes down to your purpose for a long time. You got to stay at it, man. But this is what it comes down to, man. So it's up to you how long you want to retain, bro. I'm not here to judge you. You know, it's some people that's coming day one. I said, let's go, let's get it. Even though I have been retaining for a while. You know, even though I don't count my days, I don't know how long I've been retaining, but for a while. But I'm not going to belittle the man that just started day one. I'm not going to belittle him or talk about the guy that just relapsed, 4 days ago or a day ago. I'm not going to belittle him because he probably just got on this journey. So we all at different levels, so it's up to you how long you want to retain. But I'm telling you, if you want to reap benefits and all that, you want to go through all these different phases. You want to see your mental clarity and your mindset healing. You want no brain fog. You want more energy. You want more focus. You want female attraction. I'm going to just go ahead and put it in there. Because y'all want to hear that. I know y'all want it. Y'all want to hear that one. You want a better lifestyle. You want to change, your lifestyle. You got to put in some work. I can tell you that much. See, I'm not going to tell you how long to retain, but you have to put in some work. You got to retain, telling you, for a while. Especially if you want it life-changing. You want your finances to go up. See, that's long-term retaining. For you short-term retainers, you just look for the female attraction, just to relapse. See, if you are a short-term retainer, that's fine. That's on you. But what side are you on? You comment. You a short-term retainer or a long-term retainer? Because a long-term retainer, he has more discipline than a short-term retainer. Just to put that out there. See, a long-term retainer, he's trying to change his whole life. He want more money. He's thinking long-term. He want passive income. He want multiple streams of income. He want a better spiritual life. He want to be healed inside. He want to be a better man, long term. Short term retainer, he just want, the females to look at him. He want to attract some women and then smash them and then relapse. He want to start a purpose. He got a short term goal. That's what the short term retainer have. He has short term goals. Maybe he want to get a little, six pack. After that, he relapse. That's a short-term retainer. But the long-term retainer, man, he want to stay in shape. He want to stay focused. He want to stay fit. He want the best out of life. He want his own business. He have long-term thinking. See, that's the long-term retainer. But the short-term retainer, see, he doesn't have that mindset. He have short-term thinking. See, short-term thinking, he just want to manifest a job. Short-term thinker, he just want to, get into sports like his first year, try it out. When he first start sports and then relapse eventually. But the long-term thinker, he want to be into sports and stay at it long term. He want to stay at it for the long run. He's trying to get some pros. But the short-term thinker, he just want to, try sports out just to try it out. he not really like really serious about it. You know, he just want to try out a sport. You know, and that's it. He just want to try, you know, try different things out. Short term, do short term things. You know, run a lap around his, you know, his apartment complex just one time. He just want to do it one time. That's it. Leave it alone. But a long-term thinker, he want to make that a routine. He want to stay in shape. See, that's the difference. So which one you want to be? It's all up to you on this serious journey, man. So how long to retain? It's all up to you.